Go Bridgeside.
Good evening. This is Hondo. I'm here at Bridgeside Live. I'm sitting here with the guys CJ, Barry, and my man Jordan from Mokra. How y'all guys feeling, man?
Feeling
Very
great.
well, thank you.
Yo, thank you for coming out. You know what I mean? So we got a few questions for you guys. First off, I just wanted to know, how did the name Mokra come about?
Well, it happened one day when I wasn't there.
Yeah, way to jump out of that
But
one.
I've grown to love it.
Nice.
Naming the band is probably the hardest thing we had to do, and after toiling over many other nonsense names, we chose that one.
Cool. Yo, so CJ, I was noticing the sticker that you have on your guitar over there and whatnot.
Yeah.
I was wondering, does it have a story? Has it traveled around the world?
Yeah, it's not a sticker.
Sorry.
It's an inlay.
Okay.
Right? So that's carved in there with all kinds of different elements. It's made by a.
Can we pull it up? This one?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, let me.
Sorry, you know what I mean?
Sure.
You want to just bring it? Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me about that.
All right. So. Thank you. So it's made by a fine group of people out in California, a company called Alembic.
Okay.
They will custom make anything you want, basically.
Cool.
And this is it's called Diamond Eye Jack. And it does have quite a story. Its namesake is my father. It's a tribute to him. He's one of the people that got me. Was never a musician, couldn't play or sing a lick, but always encouraged me to play music. So there is. This is taken from a photograph of him.
Nice.
There's a little diamond in the eye, Diamond Eye Jack. That is from a ring that my grandmother gave to my mother, I believe. My mom she'll probably write in and clear up this story a little bit. But so the whole entire guitar is basically a tribute, and at the same time, something I think I always wanted. It was a once in a lifetime thing. I don't think I'll ever be able to do again, but
The
I'm
one
glad
and
that
only.
I did it. Yeah, it's the one and only. It's a one of a kind.
So peace to Diamond Eye Jack.
Yeah, thank you.
You know what I mean? Peace to that love. How did you guys meet?
I'll take that one.
What's up?
So, I met this guy on Craigslist. And
Craigslist bring people together.
Back then, it certainly did. We were at a jam session, and we were in the middle of a jam, and CJ walked in because he was probably like 10 minutes late or something like that. Didn't even say hello. Just plugged in his guitar, joined the jam,
And just got busy.
and just asserted himself, and he was the guy
Like
that
you infiltrated.
he
That's what it
infiltrated
was.
and
Snuck
took
in
over
like a ninja.
pretty much.
Yeah.
And I played poker with this guy for years
He's been
before.
taking your money?
Well, I think it went back and forth, but years before I knew he was a musician. And when he told me he was a bass player, I'm like, "Oh, you got to meet my buddy CJ." And you know, we've been playing for a good 7 years or so together
7
now.
years?
something like
Yeah.
that. Something like that.
So any projects, anything, what have y'all accomplished? Like what's the new album?
Yeah. The new album is.
I think you just heard it.
You heard most of it just now. We're really focusing on the original material right now,
Okay.
whereas earlier we were focusing on a vibe or a certain style, or learning a ton of cover songs from all throughout rock, jazz, and funk, and just honing our chops as a unit.
That's
And,
so dope, yo.
Yeah, you need that time to incubate it as a band, and a lot of
right.
bands don't get that. So
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Because y'all play so tight knit. I was talking to Jason in the green room. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Shout out to Jason who was out there in the green room. Peace and love, baby. You know what I mean? He was saying y'all play so tight knit. Y'all
Jason.
play with this great energy. Like y'all sound like you've been playing for 7 years. Like it just comes to you guys. It's just natural.
the energy is really important. I think we try really hard to set a tone where we can all be ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a real diverse but similar musical tastes, and so we're kind of in that vein of jazz and jamming, and where eye contact is necessary, but not always, and sometimes
Right.
it's secondary.
'Cause it's the flow, it's the
and
energy
sometimes
that
you're
y'all-
sometimes making a cue with your instrument, and we just have to trust each other that we're going to all make the turn at the same time, and that we usually don't go off the rails. So.
So
That's
what are some of
basically
y'all-
how we approach it.
That is so dope. Like, what are your influences with music? Like, who do you really thrive off of? Who do you listen to? Like, when you close your eyes, or like when you go home, or when you driving, who are you listening to make yourself feel better or feel great as a musician, as an artist?
Yeah, well, you can never really go wrong by saying Miles Davis kind of blue. It's that's a pretty much must have in your listening arsenal situation. Okay. But we all definitely have a little bit of a varied taste. But I think we all came of age when like this this newer generation of jamming bands, I guess they're called jam bands now, bands that'll take rock and do a lot of improvisation within song structures and.
So it's like fusion.
Fusion, sure, is part of
definitely
it.
an element
Absolutely.
of fusion. There's definitely an element of playfulness. And kind of like I kept looking over to him at the end of each song, like, what's the next song we're gonna do? Because we had just decided, like, at the car, kind of what songs we might play and what order we might play them in, and we kind of knew what we would start with and what we would end with, and it's kind of like we feel it out to a certain extent. And we don't want to lock ourselves in too much, but for this we lock ourselves in so you out of courtesy to your fine crew, so you guys know where to point the cameras and what graphics to put up. And that's about as structured as we've gotten so far as a band. So
I look at
for that.
CJ when it's time for a guitar solo because I can't play a guitar solo. But Jordan's turned me on to a ton of good music that I would have not known, and CJ's done the same thing. So. It's all a soup of stuff. I mean, I can name check a ton of bands, but it's really the soup that matters. That we're not taking from one particular source. That we're really mixing and matching what we like from certain styles or
That's
from certain
beautiful.
from certain artists.
I like that so much. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some questions from the interwebs. We're going to take the questions from everybody that was watching the live stream. The voice
Are there
of God.
actually any questions?
Yeah, we have 3 questions from the live stream.
Okay.
So the voice of God, if you can please enter this room.
Mokra, this is God.
I hear you.
All right, we got 3 questions from the interwebs. Question number 1. Josh Baker wants to know how playing in the studio compares to a live show.
Who wants to take that one? You want to take it?
Well, I'll say the biggest difference for me at least is that playing with these guys. We talked about the energy. The energy is so amazing. When we're in the studio, it's really just feeding off our energy, and it's the 3 of us. When we're playing live, it's feeding off our energy, the 3 of us, but the crowd is almost like, the 4th band member that really drives it and brings out the thunder and lightning in us when we play the way we want to play.
Wicked.
And so it's it's a different kind of energy, but I think the way we like to play music, we always want it to be high energy, even when we change pace.
Well, and you're in a little bit less control with the audience. Sometimes the audience, they might latch onto something that you didn't notice that you've played, and like, hey, I think that felt good. Let's do that again.
Oh, yeah.
And so the audience is that kind of 4th member, kind of directing to a certain extent, to a small extent. Sometimes to a large extent, but and you feel it when it's not there. But this room is fantastic. The sound is great. The crew is
I was
great.
a fan
Everything
of
is
Caveman.
awesome.
I love Caveman.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
So do we.
That's one of
We
our
saw you
newest
dancing.
ones.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, we saw your
It
video.
was so wicked. Oh, so dope. Yo, question number 2, the voice of God, baby.
All right, question 2. Jake Tunney wants to know what type of inlay the guitarist has.
Okay. The inlay, so the medallion here is inlaid, and then the fingerboard is inlaid. And this is an inlay over here. That's the Olympics headstock. Actually, I'll give a very quick plug. If you look at cjikinger.com, that's my name. There's the whole entire story of this guitar laid out chronologically, from picking out the wood to the drawings to everything. It was a 4-year journey. Everything's in here: ebony, silver, lapis, malachite, I think, maybe a couple other types of wood. So I would encourage you to go check that out and read the whole story. And feel free to send me an email, and I'll be happy to answer any questions about the guitar. It's a fun, beautiful thing. Thank you.
Okay, final question. Cosmic Evan
Yes.
wants to know what's next.
I know him.
We know you. We know you.
He wants to know what's next for the band, more original music, and any shows coming up.
Cosmic Evan, we are definitely working on a ton of original music. We have sights set on putting out our first album of all originals as soon as we can. And continue to play shows in Long Island City, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, wherever they'll take us. So if you're a
Nice.
booking agent out there and you liked us, give us a call.
If you've got a PA and just a tiny little space in the corner, we'll probably play there.
But I do want to say we love you, Cosmic Evan.
We do love Evan.
That's so dope. Yo, first off, shout out to Cosmic Evans, yo. You know what I mean? Hondo loves you too. Just want you to know.
Yeah.
Yo, so where can we see you performing? Sometime in New York, anywhere soon? Like, where y'all gonna be at? Because I would love to come to a show.
Thank you so much.
Kick it with you guys.
Please check out our Instagram, which is at Mokra Music, Mokra Music, and that's really like our hub on the internet because we take advertising and social media maybe a little too seriously, so we don't have a ton of places where you can check us out.
But everybody can go to Instagram.
We've got a central location. Go to our Instagram. You can also email us at mokramusic@gmail.com. Those are the two places: Instagram at Mokra Music and mokramusic@gmail.com.
Hey, right now we're coming out of the kind of winter hibernation and starting to stretch out a little bit. So we'll be set to book some.
Oh
gigs
wait, we
very,
have
very
something in
soon.
September, don't we?
Oh, we
Yeah,
do?
well, I don't know if it's official yet, so I don't want.
Unofficially, what's going on in September?
Unofficially, you can check for a large beer festival in Brooklyn, which I won't name because I don't want our good friends.
When
When we
over
get
there to
confirmation,
get
yo,
upset.
you know, we're
But
gonna definitely spread that out.
We will be
Yeah.
we will be posting
It'll
that
go out there.
and some things in the city in the fall as well.
And
Okay.
before then, we're looking to book now for probably June and July.
Okay.
Shout out to Mike and Lauren.
Well, yo, listen, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mokra. I'm your boy Hondo. I'm thanking you for tuning in. They're thanking you for tuning in. You know what it is. Come check us next Tuesday. You already know how live it's gonna be. So stay tuned. Peace and love. That's Mokra. This is Hondo Burgundy signing out.
Go Bridgeside.